There's a lot of sources for entertainment out here in this day and age, from your typical multi-million-dollar films to your favorite video games to creators on social media like YouTube and Twitch. There's generally just a lot of stuff out there. But growing up, I spent a lot of time watching YouTube. Granted, YouTube back then was not the YouTube we know today, and I had my fair share of watching videos of all sorts. But every now and then you'd come across a gem on here. And I'm not talking about your usual long-form YouTuber style videos, but I'm talking about those things almost akin to TV shows or movies. I'm sure most of you have heard of at least some of these having gained popularity over the years, from the unnerving salad fingers, the utterly insane Don't Hug Me I'm Scared, and the recent animation gem that took the internet by storm, The Amazing Digital Circus. As a kid and even now, I spent and spend a lot of time watching these things, as they provide me TV level quality entertainment I could just watch straight from YouTube. And I remember deliberately searching up indie animation studios or people that were producing this sort of content. And one of those YouTube channels was VivziePop. Previously, I had watched a lot of VivziePop's videos without thinking too much of it, but one thing I did remember was that in 2019, I watched the Hazbin Hotel pilot episode for the first time and was absolutely stunned. It was quality animation coupled with amazing voice work and was just a treat to watch at the time. But after that, I kind of forgot about it. That was up until recently. Granted, I was reminded by the recent events surrounding the franchise online. But as a result of that, I was pleased to hear that it was now a full TV show being produced by A24, no less. Owing it to my younger self, I had to check it out. And goddamn, what a show. I'ma keep this one as spoiler free as possible, and I highly recommend watching the show first, but for now, let's just get into it. The show is set in the realms of heaven and hell, and stars Charlie Morningstar, the princess of hell, as she sets about fulfilling her seemingly impossible dream of opening a hotel called the Hazbin Hotel, which aims to rehabilitate sinners. Due to overpopulation, hell goes through an annual purge where angels, led by Adam, the first man, descend from heaven and kill demons. Charlie finds this upsetting and wants to find a more peaceful solution to the overpopulation problem. Her goal is to have her clients check out from hell as redeemed souls and be accepted into heaven. Charlie runs into a lot of problems trying to realize her dream, and on the way meets a dynamic cast of characters that include her girlfriend Vaggie, porn actor Angel Dust, radio demon Alistair, the inventor Serpentius, the bartender Husk, and the janitor Nifty, just to name a few. Before I sort of get into anything that's too deep, I just wanted to highlight how the show has amazing visuals off the bat. There's just such a strong sense of style in the art, and if you've seen any of VivziePop's other works, you can definitely tell. The art is consistent, the characters' movements and expressions are detailed and well thought out, and this show really made me realize how much attention these animators put into how expressive characters could be. It was truly some of the most fun I've had watching something in a while, and it was genuinely a joy to go through each episode. Aside from that, I was also genuinely surprised with the fight scenes as well, which wasn't something I was looking for in this sort of show, but was a nice touch nonetheless. The final two episodes had some amazing action-packed scenes that were choreographed and animated brilliantly, which took me by surprise and filled a very small tiny bit of the void that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 had left in me. Another aspect I'd like to touch on is the fact that this show is actually a musical. While I sort of knew it had musical elements to it, I actually didn't expect the whole thing to be a full-on musical. Now, I'd like to preface that I usually don't enjoy watching musical-esque things. I find them to be a bit too over the top with their lyrics and delivery, and can sometimes take away from the seriousness of a scene. But with Hazbin Hotel, I thought it was actually executed quite well. While the musical numbers were playing, and they were pretty good songs in their own right, the musical atmosphere they give off is actually similar to the vibe you get in your typical Disney films like Frozen or Moana. But the lyrics are the furthest thing from the typical Disney song ever. With that juxtaposition, it actually serves to be quite an entertaining experience, even for someone who doesn't really like musicals. In a way, while watching Hazbin Hotel, I kept getting this weird sense of nostalgia from watching OG cartoon Disney movies with their musical numbers, coupled with the strong cartoon aesthetics I used to watch on Cartoon Network. And despite evoking memories of my childhood with covering topics and themes that are similar to that of a children's TV show, the way Hazbin Hotel uses relatively mature and adult methods to highlight those particular themes really make it a unique experience. In a way, I think that the show sort of wants to highlight how a lot of the same stuff children go through still happen to us as adults. It's just that we don't really think about it too much, whether that be reconnecting with family, trusting your friends and making new ones, getting out of toxic relationships, or even learning about how everyone is flawed in their own ways, no matter what sort of label you've been given. But don't get me wrong, the show is in no way trying to be deep or pretentious, and I think that's alright and makes the show a truly fun experience to binge with a couple friends. But I also appreciate that the show doesn't shy away from putting a bit of thought-provoking ideas into the mix either. I think episodes 4 and 6 really exemplify that idea, with one highlighting how despite being in hopeless situations, there's always a positive and good way out of things if you open up to someone, and the other underscoring the absurdity of how people are often labeled good or bad based off a single chance, without giving them room to redeem themselves. Of course, then again, I might be reading too much into this show, but I truly think that there's genuinely a lot of good messages and points the show makes in pretty smart ways, and although it's definitely not something you should show to a kid, it's still an interesting watch as an adult. Going a bit bigger picture, the overarching plot is also pretty interesting and executed pretty well, with the A plot of Charlie's goal helping sinners redeem themselves and the B plot of the V's trying to take over hell. Season 1 serves as an amazing setup for something great that will hopefully come into fruition in Season 2, and I can't wait to see what happens to the crazy cast of characters heaven and hell have to offer. And with all that packaged together in a nice, bloody, satanic bag, Hazbin Hotel might just be one of the most entertaining pieces of animation to come out in 2024 so far.